Standing in the Costco aisle with a half-full cart, some of these bulk buys will quietly save you money for years. And 3 popular ones are just wasted cash rotting in your fridge. Before we load up, if you want calm, practical stockpiling like this every single week, subscribe to Shelf Alert and tap the bell. That's how you catch the shelf life tips before your next warehouse run. Here's the rule underneath all of it. Being ready isn't an alarm, it's common sense. The warehouse is a goldmine, but only if you know what actually keeps. So today, 8 buys worth stockpiling, 3 that quietly drain your wallet. No panic, just loading the cart the right way, 1 trip at a time. Be honest with me for a second. How many of these are already sitting in your cart right now? Let's start the winners. Number 1, white rice, those big Kirkland sacks. This is the backbone of any real food reserve, and it barely ages. Stored right, in airtight containers or mylar with oxygen absorbers, white rice lasts 25 to 30 years. Read that again. Decades. When you're at the shelf, check the label before you load up, and grab the bags that are clean and undamaged. And here's the one that trips people up. Buy white over brown. Brown rice has natural oils in the bran, and those oils go rancid fast, sometimes in months. If you've ever thrown out a bag of brown rice that went off and smelled like old paint, you already know exactly why this one matters. White rice keeps its head down and waits for you for years. Number 2, rolled oats. This is your breakfast and baking workhorse. Oatmeal on a cold morning, cookies, quick bread, a filler that stretches a meal. Kept in sealed buckets, away from heat, rolled oats last 2+ years easy. Cheap, filling, endlessly useful. The trick is heat and moisture. A pantry shelf, a lid that actually seals, done. That's a staple that earns its space. Number 3, canned goods multi-packs. Chicken, beans, tomatoes, tuna. This is where Costco really shines, because the per can price drops and the shelf life is long. 3 to 5 years, easy. But do me one favor at the warehouse. Check every can for dents and rust before you load up. A deep dent along a seam, or rust creeping around the rim, and you leave that one on the shelf. A good can is smooth, sealed, quiet. Rotate the older ones to the front, and you've basically got shelf-stable dinners banked for years. Number 4, honey. This is the near-magic one. Honey basically never expires. Archaeologists have found pots of it thousands of years old, still good. If your jar goes cloudy and thick and turns to sugar crystals, that's not spoilage. That just means warm it gently in a bowl of warm water, and it comes right back to liquid gold. Store it in its own dry corner, lid on tight, away from steam and damp. That's it. 1 jar, and you've got sweetener, energy, and a little calm in a hard week. So those are your 4 easy wins. Rice, oats, canned goods, honey. The kind of buys you can grab today and feel good about for the next decade. No overthinking it. But the middle of the list is where stockpiling gets clever. Cheap protein that outlasts almost everything. 2 items that never truly expire. And then, item number 8, cooking oil. The exact point where Costco's biggest strength turns into its trap. And somewhere in that stretch, the first of those 3 wasted cash buys starts to show its face. Because here's the thing that quietly runs this whole game. Quantity is both the gift and the trap. Let's keep going, and I'll show you exactly where the line is. So let's get clever. Beans. Number 5 is dried beans and lentils, and honestly, this is the one I push hardest when money's tight. A bag of pintos or red lentils costs almost nothing, and it's real protein sitting quietly in your pantry. Sealed upright, airtight jars, or mylar with an oxygen absorber tucked inside. Dried beans and lentils keep for more than 5 years without blinking. The only thing that ruins them is neglect. You bring home a fresh bag, you set it in front, and the old one slides deeper and deeper toward the back until it's fossilized. So do this every trip. Rotate the older bags forward so nothing gets buried. Quick check. Go look in your pantry later and see if the oldest bag is stuck at the back. If it is, that's your homework. Takes 30 seconds. Saves you a jar of dust. Number 6 is the pair that basically laughs at time. Salt and sugar have indefinite shelf life, not a long while, not a few years, indefinite. Stored dry, they'll outlast the container you put them in. And bulk is exactly where they're priced right. A big sack of either costs a fraction per pound of those little grocery boxes. The only enemy is moisture. Keep it out, a sealed bin, a dry shelf, done. That's the whole storage lesson for 2 of the most useful things in any kitchen. Number 7, and this one's personal. Coffee. For a lot of us, that first cup is the calm before the day even starts, and you don't want to lose that ritual to a stale, flavorless brick. Costco's vacuum-sealed grounds and whole beans are a genuinely good buy. But the moment that seal breaks, the clock starts ticking. So here's the trick. Freeze coffee in portions. Scoop it into freezer bags, press the air out, and pull one when you need it. The flavor holds far longer, and your morning stays exactly as good as day 1. Now, number 8, cooking oil. And this is where the whole thing quietly turns on you. Oil looks like the perfect bulk buy. Big jug, tiny price per ounce, feels smart in the cart. But oil doesn't keep the way rice or salt does. Once it's open, it slowly goes rancid. You'll smell it before you taste it. That flat, waxy kind of off. So yes, buy oil at Costco. Just buy oil in a size you'll use within a year, not the gallon that outlives its own freshness under your sink. Check the label before you load up. See how long it's actually rated for, and match the bottle to how fast your kitchen really moves. This is the one that catches almost everyone. Tell me in the comments if you've got a half-used jug of oil older than you'd like to admit. No judgment. We've all got one somewhere. And here's the lesson. Oil hands you for free. The very thing that makes Costco great, the sheer quantity, is also the thing that sets the trap. Quantity is both the gift and the trap. More is only a win when the item is shelf-stable and you'll genuinely finish it. A giant anything that spoils before you get to it isn't a deal. It's money you carried straight to the fridge and then threw in the bin. So the question stops being, how much can I buy? It becomes, how much will I actually rotate and finish? That one small shift changes your entire cart. And once you're thinking that way, some of the most popular bulk buys in the whole building start to look very, very different. Does that same betrayal apply to more than just oil? Hold on. Because if quantity is the trap, which buys spring it the hardest? 3 items that look healthy or look like a steal, sitting right there in your cart. And every one of them usually ends up as slime, stale bricks, or a half-empty gallon you'll never finish. Starting with the one that looks the healthiest of all, that giant bag of pre-washed salad greens. It looks like the smartest thing in your whole cart. Healthy, easy, ready to go. And it's the first trap. Here's what actually happens at home. You open the fridge 4 or 5 days later, and those crisp leaves have gone soft. By day 7, the salad greens turn to slime within a week, pooling in the bottom drawer, and you're scraping most of the bag into the trash. That's not saving money. That's paying warehouse prices to feed your compost bin. Greens breathe, they bruise, they rot. Quantity does nothing for you when the clock runs that fast. So buy fresh produce in the amount you'll genuinely finish in a few days. A smaller bag you eat beats a giant one you toss. Every single time. Skip number 2. Bulk bread and those big bakery muffin packs. I get the appeal. The warehouse loaf is huge. The price per slice looks unbeatable. But think about 2 people trying to work through a loaf that size. Bulk bread goes stale or moldy long before you reach the end of it, and you know exactly what you do next. You freeze it, and that's where it dies. It becomes a frozen brick shoved behind the peas, forgotten, freezer burned, taking up room you actually need. Same with the muffins. A 12-pack sounds great until half of them are drying out on the counter. If you love fresh bread, buy what fits your week, or bake and freeze in small portions you'll actually reach for. Don't let cheap per loaf turn into a freezer full of clutter. Skip number 3. The oversized condiments and warehouse spices. That gallon jug of mayo. The paprika container the size of your forearm. Feels like a deal. It almost never is. An opened gallon of dressing or mayo spoils long before a normal household gets halfway down it. And now it's a sticky monument taking up half a shelf. Spices are even worse. Ground spices lose their punch in months, not years. That massive tub of paprika or cumin will fade to sad orange dust while you're still on the top inch. Flavor is the whole point of a spice, and you're paying for flavor that quietly evaporates. Buy spices small, buy them fresh, replace them when they smell like nothing. So, quick gut check. Type 1 or gone in the comments. Did you win or lose money on any of these 3? I'm betting almost everyone has a slimy salad bag story, and here's the thread running through all 3. It's the same lesson the oil taught us. Quantity is both the gift and the trap. These items don't fail because they're bad. They fail because they spoil faster than you can eat them, and no bulk price fixes that. That's the whole rule underneath today's list. Stockpile shelf-stable staples you'll genuinely rotate. Pass on perishables that die faster than your household can finish them. Simple as that. So let's load the cart the right way. One last time. The 8 winners: rice, oats, canned goods, honey, dried beans, salt and sugar, coffee, and right-sized oil. Those are the ones that quietly save you money for years. The tidy pantry lineup that just sits there, ready, calm, working for you. And the 3 misses to leave on the shelf: bagged greens, bulk bread, and oversized condiments and spices. The stuff that looks like a win in the cart and becomes wasted cash in the fridge. And the habit that ties it together: check the label before you load up. Look at the shelf life. Ask yourself one honest question. Will I actually use all of this before it goes bad? If yes, and it stores well, load up. If no, walk on. That's it. That's the skill. Here's the part I care about most, folks. You don't build this reserve in one frantic afternoon. You build your reserve one sensible trip at a time. A few extra bags of rice this week. A case of canned beans next month. Not a panic run that strips the shelves and hurts your neighbors. Just steady, calm, common sense shopping that adds up. Share your own Costco stockpiling wins and misses below, so the whole community can shop smarter. We all get better when we trade notes. That's the whole game, folks. A pantry that saves you money for years, built one calm trip at a time. Share your wins and misses, and I'll see you on the next trip.